Good morning. Hope everyone has a good weekend, had a good weekend, excuse me, and I hope everyone's going to have a good Monday. As you can see by the title slide, we're going to talk about an online writing workshop. Um, I'm a little bit behind in correcting. I'm recording this on Sunday. I had hoped to have 9 papers corrected by today. I only have 6, and so I'm just running a little bit behind. My goal is still to have all of the papers corrected by the end of the day on Friday. Also, next Monday, I will be explaining how we're going to do the revision credit for this paper, and all of that will just get explained Monday. So understand that there will be a revision element to this paper, and you'll get all of the details on that next Monday during the presentation. Quick overview for the week. Obviously, today I've got 4 people in the writing lab. The rest of you are watching this recording. Wednesday, Group B shows up to class. We're supposed to get to page 143. And Friday, Group A gets to class. We're supposed to get to page 169. I'm picking some of the things that happened frequently on the papers that I've graded so far. And by frequently, like I said, I have 6. And if 3 of the papers have a problem or a similar problem, I think it's worth noting and talking about for everyone. Number 1, citations are necessary. I generally do not use exclamation points, but it does strike me that a lot of the papers did not have proper citations as I went through and looked at them. And one of the most obvious spots where papers should have a citation is when there is a phrase like studies have shown or research indicates. If you have that phrase, what studies? Instead of saying studies have shown, give me the name. Jones and Smith claim that. Or, a study conducted by the University of Southeastern Australia. Or, doctors from 9 countries participated in a study that said. Give me the details. Give me the details. Give me the citation. And again, remember, the purpose of the citation is not so that I have something to look for in the paper. The purpose of the citation is to get you in the habit of making it easier for people to follow up on your research. You've picked things that are interesting to you. Other people may have similar interests. And if they want to follow up, it's your job to make it easy for them. So instead of studies have shown, give me some specifics. And anytime you have studies have shown or research indicates, please, please, please have the citation. Format and formality matter. This sentence fixes the error from the previous slide. I know that it's child and adolescent psychiatry and mental illness. I'm assuming that this is some sort of journal. And I know that they did a study on Ugandan children. Awesome. However, there's some formatting issues here. Use italics for the titles of magazines and journals. You should also use italics for the titles of television programs, the titles of books, the titles of films. And keep the phrasing formal, not informal. Remember that there's sort of a spectrum. When my wife comes home from work after teaching middle school, I may well ask her, how did the kids treat you today? That's an informal situation. If I'm speaking in front of a group, I might even be able to get away with kids say the darndest things if we're having a light moment in the intro. But when I'm making the presentation, I should be more formal and talk about students. The research paper is formal, and the research paper should have formality. So again, children, students, something like that, not kids. Format and formality matter. This is a formal document. There are certain expectations. Please work to meet those sorts of expectations. I've emphasized being concise and being accurate. I have talked about the idea that every word should tell. And one of the things that I loved about the presentation from the writer's workshop that some of you attended and some of you have turned in the extra credit for, that was an emphasis there as well. Don't repeat unnecessarily. Make sure that everything works together, that it's clear and that the goal is clarity. When one has too many extra words and when one has unnecessary repetition, clarity gets lost. Some of the same prices may have a better or worse car. The prices don't own the car. So prices can't have a better or worse car. And then it goes on to talk about, depending on how it's been kept over the years, I assume the author means kept up over the years, and how the owner has taken care of it. How it's been kept up and taken care of both mean the same thing. So I think the intent is cars that have been maintained properly will usually cost more, but may be a better value. I think that's the intent of this sentence. It's certainly shorter. I think it gets the idea of kept up, being maintained. It's got the idea of the price. And it also has better value, the idea of better or worse. Work to be concise or accurate. Remember, the goal here is to convey meaning. Those of you who have taken the speech class have more than likely heard that communication is the process of sending and receiving messages. Messages, in order to be received, have to have a meaning. So work to be clear, work to provide a meaning. And I think being concise and being accurate is the best way to do that. Again, working and being clear, make sure that the modifier placement is correct. I pulled this sentence out of the middle of a paragraph. If memory serves, the preceding sentence had an antecedent for the word it, so that's not the problem. Let's listen to the sentence. It can ruin families and tear people apart, whether they are addicted to gambling, alcohol, or hard drugs. Compulsive actions also come with these disorders. Compulsive actions cannot be addicted to alcohol or gambling or hard drugs. Okay? Now, part of the problem here might be just the fact that this is a run-on sentence, that there needs to be a period after hard drugs. But as written, whether they are addicted to gambling, alcohol, or hard drugs is modifying compulsive actions. So again, the punctuation matters, so does the modifier placement. Gambling, alcohol, and drug addictions ruin families and destroy relationships because addicts frequently exhibit compulsive behaviors that may lead to financial problems. I believe that's the same thing. All right? I believe I'm saying the same thing as the original. The modifier placement problem is taken care of. Work to have the subject and the verb perform the action. The addictions ruin families. The addictions destroy relationships. And then give me the reason. And again, the addicts exhibit. Subject, verb. And again, concrete noun, addicts, and action verb. Exhibit, ruin, destroy. Work to be concise and formal. And again, you've seen the word concise here several times. A key player in why total cost of attendance of most schools is so high, tuition really makes or breaks it. Now, I think that tuition as a key player, the modifier here is acceptable, but there are a whole ton of extra words here. Tuition is a major reason private colleges are expensive, period. Makes or breaks is one of those idioms that is too informal for a formal research paper. Same with kids, same with anything else. And again, I know that I am repeating myself here, but the fact is I came across a lot of sentences in the papers I've graded so far. So please make sure to work to correct these sorts of errors. Please work to keep the phrasing formal. And again, work to keep it concise. Work to keep it concise. You saw the previous examples. Same here. Keep your phrasing concise. And then also work to make the comparisons clear. If you look at this sentence, the care of a person with autism has many more responsibilities than a child who does not have the disability. So I am comparing the care of a person with the child. I don't want to compare the care with the child. I might want to compare how caring for a child with autism differs from caring with a child without autism, but I cannot compare care with the child itself. And so again, caring for a child with autism is more difficult than caring for a child without the disability. Make your comparisons clear. The goal is clarity. The goal is communicating information clearly. The goal is having your research prove your points and making that presentation that the research does prove your points clearly and concisely. And I know I've just repeated myself a lot, but it does seem to me that that's one of the problems that has happened on paper after paper after paper. And it's one of the things that when we work on the revision exercises next Monday and for the time periods after that, that I'm going to ask people to fix. And then finally, be sure the data, I'm not sure if this is finally, by the way, I think it is. Be sure the data actually proves a point. I've got a citation, I'm happy. But it says the aim of this research was to find out. It never says that this research illustrates, this research proves, this research, does what it's supposed to. It says the aim of this research. It doesn't say the research met that aim. And therefore, find the quotation that says the research proves it. I'm sure that the research proves it, at least based on the paper, I'm sure that the research proves it. But this quotation doesn't say that the research proves it. Find the data in the article, find the quotation in the article that says the research proves it. Perhaps I'm being a little picky here, but there's a difference between aiming to do something and actually doing it. Okay, for today's daily writing, it's very, very simple. Write the sentence, I was here, and sign. Don't sing your name. Sign your name. For example, I was here, Leo Collis. All right. Sorry about that double. And again, work to proofread. You see what happens when people screw up proofreading? I just did it. Work to proofread. In the comments, I was here, sign your name. Don't sign my name, sign yours. I hope everybody has a good Monday. See some of you in class Wednesday, some of you in class on Friday. I hope everybody has a good week.